Knowing that all this is wrong, you went to fight?
His wife was killed, and his wife was pregnant, and his daughter too.
Who bombed?
Ukraine. So why are Donetsk and Luhansk fighting against Ukraine?
They're not fighting against Ukraine.
What's happening there then?
And when did all the action even start?
When, in 2014?
What happened?
The Maidan in Ukraine. Well, I think that's how it is at every border.
So what are you doing on the territory of another sovereign state? Has the largest number of boys all been seduced by your church? Answer my question. Well, why do they live there and can't come back to the traditional motherland? To avoid dealing with these LGBT people?
They can return.
Why don't they return?
But they don't want to. No, because the standard of living is higher there. I was the only one left from the platoon. That's 100% accurate.
Good. Afternoon.
Hello.
Please introduce yourself to the camera of the broken Samsung. Your military rank?
Junior Sergeant?
Are you giving voluntary consent for the recording and publication of this conversation?
Yes.
Why?
So that my loved ones can see and know that I am alive and I am in captivity.
Tell us about your family.
About my family?
Autobiography, you know what that is?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Go ahead. Autobiography.
Well, my dad kind of didn't live with my mom, and my mom worked as a teacher. I was raised by my stepfather. Mom worked as a teacher all her life.
At which school?
At secondary school number 2 in the city of Orlov.
She's a distinguished teacher. Is that for the whole of Russia?
Well, it seems so.
What does that give?
Well, it doesn't give anything. Some benefits and just medals, certificates.
Medals, certificates.
Well, as I understood, yes.
You're essentially a volunteer?
Yes.
What did you need it for?
There was no particular reason. It's just that there's a war going on, and I agreed to go to it. That's all.
So, let's take a closer look at this part. There's a war going on. What do you know about it? There's a war going on.
Well, that we are conducting military operations on the territory of Ukraine.
Why are you conducting them out?
Why are we conducting them? And that's another question. Why are we conducting them?
But I'm more interested in this question. Why did you attack us?
Can I say why? Like, I agreed to go to it?
You'll say that later. Let's try to figure it out a bit. Well, you see.
Well, apparently, there are some political games between your leadership and our leadership. And the Russian Federation has deployed troops on your territory.
What political games?
Any,
for example?
Well, for example, the most common. You refused to cooperate with the Russian Federation, wanted to join NATO, and started to drift away. And the Russian Federation didn't like that, so it decided to somehow force you to cooperate with it again by some kind of military means, let's say.
That's a very sober thought, by the way. Absolutely. Like for someone concussed. Well, is it right or wrong?
From the point of view of right or wrong, I can't answer.
No, it doesn't work like that. There's your subjective assessment of anything.
My subjective assessment, personally mine, is that it's wrong.
Okay. Then the next question. It logically follows. Knowing that all this is wrong, you went to fight?
Yes.
Why?
Because this process is already happening, and sooner or later it would have affected me, because it affected all my loved ones.
Who did it affect?
Well, friends included.
For example?
Well, guys are fighting, have already died.
Are there casualties?
Of course.
Wasn't that enough for you?
Very much. I also have friends from Donetsk and Luhansk, and some of them have died. People I used to talk to.
So, wait, where are you from yourself?
I'm from Kirov region.
And what does Donetsk, Luhansk have to do with it?
I have acquaintances from there.
And how do you know?
Met them at some point.
Well, before the war.
Before this war. But after 2014,
Were you a conscript?
No, I didn't participate in that.
Were you in Donetsk?
No,
How did you meet them?
well, like in Moscow.
They were in Moscow, and you were in Moscow, and you met.
Yes.
And what did they tell you?
Well, the one who kind of...
And when was this?
I don't remember, it's been a long time. But the point is that Lesha, the one I met, his wife was killed, and his wife was pregnant, and his daughter too. He told how he sat in those basements, and they were bombed by Grads.
Who bombed?
Ukraine.
Uh-huh. And where was he bombed?
In Donetsk.
Do you want me to show you a video where you can see how your country is shelling Donetsk to escalate all this? There is a video where a Grad is standing, where basically a Grad is standing and pounding towards Donetsk. And there's one of Motorola's divisions. Do you know him?
Yes.
There's also a video where Motorola is just walking around and shooting, basically, in Donetsk. He's just walking around here and there with that, the AGS, the one with grenades. And the guys tell him, but there are people, civilians. What, are they still sleeping? He says.
Then I have a question.
Go ahead.
So why are Donetsk and Luhansk fighting against Ukraine?
They're not fighting against Ukraine.
What's happening there then?
And when did all the action even start?
When, in 2014?
What happened?
The Maidan in Ukraine.
No, we're not talking about the Maidan in Ukraine, about Donetsk and Luhansk. What happened? Who came there?
No idea.
And imagine, your guys, the Russians, came there. There. Do you know that guy? Strelkov.
Yes, I know.
So he came there. And everything started from Sloviansk. The Russian Spring, which Gherkin started. There was a whole gang there, Borodai basically, Motorola. These weren't residents for Ukraine. These were Russian militants who came and started raising the so-called Russian Spring to stir people up. You get it, right? That's what they call stirring people up. They definitely started shooting at civilians and say that it's Ukraine.
Okay, then the question is different.
Yes.
If Ukraine is Ukraine, what's the deal with the Russian Spring?
Because you brought this term Russian Spring to divide Ukraine.
As I understand, some part of Ukraine considered themselves Ukrainians, and some part considered themselves Russians.
No, that was never the case. Ukraine has always existed within the 1991 borders. It's always been there. And Donetsk and Luhansk have always been Ukrainian. Ukrainians lived there, people had jobs, everything was fine.
So the population of Ukraine considers themselves Ukrainians. It never considered itself Russian?
No.
And they never considered themselves Little Russians either?
No.
And Donbas was never really part of Novorossiya?
There's no such entity as Novorossiya. It never existed.
And what about Catherine II? Well, Donbas, she kind of created it.
Oh, come on. Are you good with history?
Well, I've familiarized myself. I even started understanding the Ukrainian language. Not completely, but I can understand it. But I've never heard it.
Uh-huh. Let's start then. What happened in Moldova?
The Transnistrian conflict, is it a conflict or not?
Yeah, let's call it that.
Well, they took it, divided Moldova in half too.
Who?
No idea.
You came to Transnistria, to Moldova. Didn't know that?
How could I not know? I knew that there was once the Soviet Union. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, new separate republics appeared. Conflicts occurred in these separate republics?
No. In these separate republics, you created conflicts.
The question is, why did we create them? If these republics were split in half, why? Why did we create them if they live separately anyway?
To bring them under control, just like the Georgian War.
Well, Moldova wasn't really brought under control, and Transnistria wasn't really brought under control there either.
Have you been to Transnistria?
No.
I was. Imagine there are people like you, Russians, everywhere on tanks, BMPs, and BTRs, and they search everyone. I was driving there about 6 years ago. They took my car apart first, then put it back together. They were looking for something.
Well, I think that's how it is at every border.
So what are you doing on the territory of another sovereign state?
No idea. Well, probably doing something.
Crimea. Who's Crimea?
Who's Crimea?
Well, yes.
Russian Crimea.
Since when?
There's a Russian flag hanging there.
It's hanging temporarily. I'm asking, in essence, whose is it?
Well, it used to be Ukrainian.
What do you mean it was Ukrainian? It is Ukrainian. It's just occupied. The question is about 2014. You barged in, just like in Moldova. You barged into Crimea. Blocked military units held a fake referendum under the barrels of guns.
Well, as I understand it, you had a Maidan or a referendum or something.
Listen, let's do it differently. Quiet almost fell. Let's do it differently. Who even cares what we had in Kiev?
I'm not interested in that at all.
No, come on.
Wasn't even interested.
Wait, you say. We had a Maidan. Do you care about what happened to us? Why did you come to Crimea? You seized it. Why did you start taking over Donetsk, Luhansk? But it didn't work there.
Well, if we take Crimea, what's in Crimea? The Black Sea Fleet of the Russian Federation is in Sevastopol.
Well, it's there by agreement.
It was there by agreement?
Yes.
After those events that happened, apparently, in your country.
Well, tell me, what events? What happened in 2014?
After Maidan?
Well, Maidan happened, what next?
You kind of had a division of Donetsk and Luhansk?
No.
Well, you're asking, I'm answering logically.
Right, logically. Let's be logical. Did we have a Maidan? Did we?
Yes, it happened.
What business is it of yours? Why did you take advantage of the fact that we had Maidan in Kiev? You grabbed Crimea for yourselves. You came out, you're right. Soldiers came out, little green men. Remember that thing, right? And blocked all our military units that were on the territory of Crimea.
Yes.
Yes. Who gave you the right to do that? Are you from Orlov?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I'm not really into it.
Well, who else? Who? So the president?
Who gave you the right? Orlov, right? You're from Orlov.
From Orlov.
I don't know. From Orlov. Now imagine, our military arrives in Orlov blocks. Military units. They're kicking out the military, and they say, everyone, this is now the Orlov People's Republic. Here, your model. There is a sovereign state.
Most Crimeans agreed with this.
But no. No, indeed. Is that what they told you on TV, that Ukraine agreed? But no. Who gave your king the right? Let's make it even simpler. Is Ukraine an independent state? I want to understand the basic terms.
Ukraine is an independent state. Ukraine's independence was recognized. It's an independent state.
Crimea's territory, whose? Huh?
The territory of Crimea was, as part of Ukraine.
And is part of Ukraine, currently temporarily occupied. Recognition of Ukraine's independence. At the time of recognition of Ukraine's independence, Crimea is recognized as part of Ukraine and is an integral part of Ukraine.
If I'm not mistaken, it was an autonomous republic.
Correct. As part of what?
Of Ukraine?
Yes. What was the national currency there?
Which one? I don't know. Hryvnias?
Yes, hryvnias.
If in Ukraine it's hryvnia, then hryvnias.
Okay. There was also the Budapest Memorandum. What does it say?
I don't know.
How come you don't know? You know so much.
No.
Shall we read?
Let's read.
Let's go. What does the Budapest Memorandum state? The text of the memorandum. I'm reading. Well, in other words, it's an unprepared story, not a picture, you see, asked Google. The Russian Federation, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and the United States of America confirmed to Ukraine their commitment in accordance with the principles of the Aussie Final Act to respect the independence, sovereignty, and existing borders of Ukraine. Yes, signed by Leonid Kuchma, Boris Yeltsin, John Major Bill Clinton. The Budapest Memorandum outlined the security guarantees that Russia, the UK, and the USA gave to Ukraine in exchange for the transfer of nuclear weapons, not to threaten with force or use it against the territorial integrity or political independence of Ukraine, and to refrain from economic coercion that could continue. This is the text and conditions of the memorandum. What does it say about? About the fact that...
I heard what it was about.
Yes, that's right. That we're disarming, giving up nuclear weapons. Your unfinished country. The USA and England guarantee us our security and guarantee that no one will attack us. Well, right? In 1991, Ukraine was recognized by the entire civilized world as an independent state. Right? Right. Crimea was part of Ukraine and is part of Ukraine. Right? Right. In 2014, your Tsar decided that Crimea needed to be seized, returned to its historical harbor. Who gave him the right to do that?
When the Maidan happened in Ukraine, Aksyonov and, a group of people, I don't remember all their names. They just asked for Crimea to join Russia.
Do you understand that you can't do that? So, some jerk, and he's a nobody, says, take all of Crimea, with all its territory, with all the people, into the Russian Federation. Dude, that's not how international law works.
But that's how it happened.
Aksyonov is a nobody.
But that's how it happened, and he became the head.
So how did it happen? By force. There wasn't a single international observer. To separate any territories, what needs to be done? A referendum needs to be held.
A referendum?
Yes.
But it was already held.
No. It was held at gunpoint. No one participated in the control, in the counting, in anything. No one did anything. There were no international observers. At the time of this referendum, everything was filled with little green men, like you. This, can it be called an expression of will? Let me ask you differently. Right now, I'll ask the soldiers for a rifle, point it at you and say, sign it. Will you sign it? You will sign.
Well, again, you'll sign. Depends on what kind of signature and for what.
To recognize the Orlov People's Republic.
No, I won't sign.
You will sign?
I won't sign.
You'll sign because your mother will be standing next to you with a gun to her temple too.
But that's a different question.
It will be. In the end, will you sign?
If that's the case, then I'll sign.
See how easy it is for us. That's how it was.
If there were one...
That's how it was in Crimea.
I wouldn't have signed.
They would have cut off your hand first, the left one. Then they would have cut off your right hand. No, not the right one. Are you left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed.
Right-handed. So they left the right hand. They would have had to cut off your legs too, but you would have signed. That's exactly how the government of the Autonomous Republic of Crimea was assembled, and everyone was forced to vote at gunpoint. It's hard to argue with armed people. Did you see the local population when you were fighting?
Where?
Well, here, in Ukraine.
Yes.
Did anyone come up to you and say, "Thank you, Liberator"?
No one came up.
What?
Well, what to say thank you for?
Well, you came to liberate.
We didn't come to liberate anyone.
How did you not come to liberate?
Well, I didn't come to liberate anyone.
You came to kill? No, first of all, you came just for money. That's clear. Why didn't the local people you saw thank you? Or any of the others?
because we smashed everything here.
And in Crimea, you just didn't have time to destroy, you blocked everyone. And the idea in 2022 was that everything should happen exactly as in Crimea. You, knowing that people are being killed here, you had acquaintances who, as I understand, were acquaintances.
Yes. I went, no one forced me. I went of my own free will.
Yes. What did you work as?
Last I worked as a driver.
How much was your salary?
Well, what about me? Well, I drove around Europe. How much? So from 1,200 euros.
Long haul?
Well, yes.
And why didn't you work back home?
In Russia,
Yes.
not interesting. Well, it's not interesting to look. Well, countries don't change, people don't change. Everything is the same.
Where is it better? In your city or in Berlin?
Well, it depends. If, for example, you compare it with what? Well, like with infrastructure, it's better in Europe.
And what's worse in Europe?
There are pros and cons.
Come on, name the pros, name the cons. How many countries in Europe have you visited?
Poland, Germany, Belgium, Holland, France, Czech Republic, Luxembourg.
Well, basically, just by the highways.
No, I was right through Germany. I lived in Poland, lived in Germany. Well, I've seen. There are pros, there are cons.
Let's hear the pros and cons. Let's take your hometown.
Roads. Fantastic. You can't argue with that. In Russia, sort of. Only in the south are there such roads.
Well, next, the roads.
Well, as for Europe, in Europe you can really work and earn money at any job. At any job, yes. In Russia, that's not the case. In Europe, there's LGBT propaganda. In Russia, such LGBT propaganda doesn't happen. It's not widespread.
What's propaganda? As much as I've been in Europe, basically I haven't seen any billboards or anything. And you definitely haven't seen them.
It's not about billboards.
Then what is it about?
It's about how it's kind of, well, imposed on people.
How? How does it manifest? Imposed by what?
From this? Well, like from school age. That is, they are allowed to choose who they want to be.
Is that bad?
As for that,
No, wait, you phrased it exactly as you said. They are allowed.
it's not bad. But in terms of intergender relations between a man and a woman, I think it's not normal.
Well, that's your subjective opinion. I also, by the way, think it's not normal. But I honestly just don't care about that topic. Well, okay, LGBT. Supposedly, there's freedom of choice. If you want to be with a boy, then you'll be with a boy. So what, you don't have that?
It's there, but it's...
Have you been to Moscow?
Of course, I live there.
Have you been to those clubs?
Well, I have nothing to do with that.
What? Are you aware that your Russian church is corrupt? Has the largest number of boys all been seduced by your church?
Okay,
Open the internet. When you get exchanged, Google it. If you want, we can call the prisoner who was exchanged right now. He went to church and then he ran away from the church because they wanted to assault him there.
this one, the one who was a prisoner here.
Yes,
Seriously?
yes, I have a video with him. I can't publish it. He didn't give me permission to publish this video. He honestly went, put on a cassock, went to the monastery, and then he ran away from there. And he sent me a video. I have this video. Your Russian church basically screws boys. It's a mandatory condition.
I don't know.
Yes, just the truth. It's not always good. So it's better not to get into this truth. Well, let's move on. LGBT is good, minus, like freedom of choice. You guys, well, what other pros and cons are there?
Service, banking system, internet. That is, in Russia, the service is better.
Are better in Russia?
Yes.
Where?
Well, like in these big cities. What are they called?
Let's take your city.
In regional centers.
Let's take your city. What was it again?
Well, in my city, like, there's none of that, no such services. But in terms of if you take...
Orlovka?
Yeah, I already said there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that, but in regional centers, the service is better.
And what's better there?
The internet is better. The banking system works better in terms of being able to do everything through the phone.
And you can't do it through the phone and oral?
In Russia, you can do everything through the phone. It's more complicated with this in Europe. There you have to buy cards to pay for mobile communication.
What cards?
Well, in Poland, for example, to top up mobile communication, you have to buy a card, then deduct from it.
When was the last time you were in Poland?
In what year?
You know, it's funny. Their whole European model comes to us. First, they get everything. Then we get it. Well, us and you.
Well,
I have a Polish card. To top up the account, you just need to top up the account from your card.
well, I don't know. I guess we're talking about different things.
I want to hear the downsides after all.
Well, the downsides are mainly related to the high taxes there, which is really the case in Germany, where taxes are indeed high.
But the salaries are different there too.
But the salaries are different there too. What else is there? Well, the fact that there are more LGBT values, that's a question. Well, those.
Did anyone approach you, grab your hand and say, become a boy?
No, that didn't happen. But I do have someone who has lived there for a very long time.
And what do they say?
So it's the same thing that
Are they Russian?
Russians.
Why do they live there?
Russians, Germans,
Why do they live there?
there are those who lived in Finland.
Answer my question. Well, why do they live there and can't come back to the traditional motherland? To avoid dealing with these LGBT people?
They can return,
Why don't they return?
but they don't want to. No, because the standard of living is higher there.
Oh, imagine that. All right, we've gotten way off track. So let's get back to our Crimea. The model where you signed, do you agree with me that you'll sign it?
At gunpoint and under threat to my loved ones and family,
Yes.
I'll sign.
That's how all the deputies of the Autonomous Republic of Crimea signed. At the same time, there were certain processes taking place in Donetsk and Luhansk. And your Tsar wanted to cut a path to Transnistria, like Kharkiv, well, Kharkiv People's Republic, Donetsk People's Republic, Luhansk, Odessa. You get it, right?
I get it.
But he didn't succeed. And that's how this whole story with the DPR and LPR began. And in 2022, he thought it would be like in Crimea. He'd come in with a 180,000 strong horde, like you, and we were supposed to surrender.
But for some reason, I believe it was supposed to be that way.
Well, you know that didn't happen, right? Kiev wasn't taken in 3 days. The government wasn't changed in 7 days, as you had planned. And after 18 months of war, knowing all this, you go to war. Explain to me why.
Then there are heavy battles. Then volunteers are needed at the front to fight.
There are heavy battles and you decide, I'll go die.
Well, it's not that I decided I would die. I was ready to go fight. Whether I die or not, I basically understood that I could be either wounded or dead. I realized that.
What did your mother say about your decision?
She didn't say anything. I make all my decisions myself.
Uh-huh. And then what? You went to the military enlistment office. What happened next?
That's it. Signed the contract. And they sent me to the military unit.
Which one?
In Pskov.
Pskov Airborne.
Yes.
How long did they train you, prepare you?
A month. A month in the unit and 10 days here beyond the line.
You weren't a conscript before this.
I served in the army.
Oh, you were a conscript.
I served in the army and served on contract.
Mm.
So, I kind of understand this.
Where did you go in?
To the Zaporizhzhia direction.
Okay. How long did you fight there?
10 days.
How did those 10 days go? From your face, I guess you're about to tell me about all the greatness of the Russian army.
You already know about it.
I know about it.
What's there to say about it?
Already 750 people like you have been through here.
The point is, it's just cannon fodder that no one cares about. That's it. I sat in the trench like that for a whole day. Your artillery just bombed us with everything possible. Cluster munitions, mines, tube artillery, kamikazes.
Why did they put you there?
That was the order.
Were there any killed or wounded?
Within a day after that, the person who was with me went insane.
What do you mean, went insane?
Went insane. It's something that, you can call it different things. You can even believe it. Or not. But he started having schizophrenia. He could talk to imaginary characters. Maybe he saw the souls of people and talked to them. It was very serious because he asked them for cigarettes, stood up and talked to them. And it wasn't just me who saw it. And when they asked him, I said, "Who are you talking to?" "Yeah, there are some guys standing over there. I'll go bum a cigarette from them." I said, "Are you serious? Where are you going? We're already in trouble as it is." And every time he would get up and go out, asking them for cigarettes. I said, "What guys are even standing there?" He says, "Well, the ones in uniform." I said, "What kind of uniform?" "Well, like this and that." I said, "And their nationality?" "Who? Russians, Ukrainians?" He says, "All together."
How many of you were taken to the position?
4 people. And every day 3 people would die. Well, basically, every day they just replaced them.
They didn't carry out the dead?
They carried them out when possible.
So they didn't carry them out then?
Well, basically, most of the time, they didn't carry anyone out.
I know that, that's why.
If they could, they carried them out, yeah.
Uh-huh. Were you always at the same position?
No, they kept moving us further and further to the front.
Uh-huh. And how did the last transfer end?
Well, I was left completely alone.
Where are the others?
The others were all wounded at first, and then I realized they all became dead.
How many people became KIA in front of you during these 10 days of war? Well, give or take.
I was the only one left from the platoon. That's 100% accurate.
How did you get captured?
Well, how? I was under artillery shelling for 10 days straight.
Did they always shell you?
They always shelled with everything they could.
Uh-huh.
And I never understood. Every day I thought I would die, and every day I stayed alive. After that, I hear someone speaking Russian.
Were you sitting in a trench?
Yeah, I got out of the trench to look around and I was captured. I can't say they were Nazis.
Nazis?
They were guys who spoke Russian. Yeah. I didn't even realize they were Ukrainians.
No way.
Then it dawned on me that they were Ukrainians.
Did they have blue tape?
No, there was no tape at all. There was a black sweater and something else. Well, helmets just like everyone else's, but NATO style.
Do you have NATO helmets?
Yeah, I had one like that too.
Damn, how did it end up like this?
The uniform was the same, and he was speaking Russian. Then I realized they were Ukrainians.
How did you realize?
Well, they started. Well, like, that's it, he says. Get out. Are you going to torture me? I asked. He says, no, we won't. I said, if you're going to mock me, just shoot me. He replies, no, no one will mock you, and that's it.
Uh-huh. Did they mock you?
No, they didn't mock me.
Well, they probably beat me.
Well, of course. Well, the guys who captured me behaved very decently. I talked with them.
What did they tell you?
Well, they spoke to me in Russian just the same. And they said they were also from the airborne forces. Well, only you don't call it airborne forces. It's called something else. But he says we're paratroopers too.
What unit captured you?
Some kind of airmobile brigade.
Send them my regards.
Thank you.
There's nowhere to call. I really made every possible attempt. We tried to contact his cousin, right?
Can we try to write there again, saying that it's Oleg? I want to talk.
Yeah, that's possible.
Well, it looks like it. It looks like that number, kind of like 906, it looks like.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Well, go ahead and record a voice message.
Veronica, hi. If you hear this, it's Oleg. I'm currently in captivity. I don't know anyone's phone numbers, yet I managed to find you. If it's you, please tell Dima to contact me and respond to this number from which I'm sending the voice message. I'm okay. Thank you very much.
Traditionally, our prisoner of war, if he wants, addresses his compatriots with some final words. Should you go to war? Should you not go to war? What to take with you? What not to take with you?
Everyone think with your own head and make your own decision. I don't want to impose or explain anything to anyone. But war is a very hard war. Think very carefully whether it's worth it or not, and that's all.
I'll add my 2 cents because he didn't say anything sensible. Everyone who's going, take black bags with you, they'll come in handy. Better take 2, one for your leg, one for your arm. If you want to get captured, bring $300 with you, it'll save your budget. Prisoners have gotten cheaper. Now there's a new rate. For convicts, Vova and I pay $100. For these kinds, $150. For officers, $300. And for exotic ones, $500 American dollars. How long did you sign the contract for?
For a year.
Well, that means when they swap you, you'll go fight some more.
And what's this exotic thing?
Exotic?
Yes.
Write what exotic means in this context.